I'll go straight to my screen is loaded. I'll go straight to Eclipse to start our application. So the reason I'm going to Eclipse is that let's launch Eclipse. I'm launching Eclipse because I want to confirm the status of the app or the service that has been deployed live on Heroku, and I want to use the terminal to do that because I don't know go to Heroku and say that okay, it's live on Heroku. I know I can do that, but this even brings into mind the reason why we should build a services monitoring API which I'm working on as I'm talking to you at the moment, so that if I want to confirm that a service is up, I do not have to go into the application logs or go into the app itself to go and run commands. There's just an API that can be built so that I post the URI, the services URL, so that once that post is made with some status codes or any logic behind it, if there's a response coming from the web services in terms of its status codes, be it in the 100s, 200s, 300s, 400s or 500s, we know how we're going to classify that response either as active or non-active. So that's one thing that we can look at, and that service is what currently have just drafted here, but it's not yet ready to be used by third parties, or it's not yet ready. So I just put the name of the service and then the URL of the service, and then I'll query some status codes. So if I do query, it's really give me a response to see whether the service is up or low. Just do a post and yeah, it's up or not, but as it stands now, it's not yet ready, and it should be ready soon, so that anyone, even especially corporate bodies that need service, that need some form of monitoring of their service, shouldn't be wait and then your service will go down and then clients are getting to you. No, you can build an API. That API sends SMS into, it could be to the team or it could be to I don't know who, but so you know that your service is down. And even with that one, you can also you can speak back to the server to put your service back on. It's a logic I'm currently working on, because SMS gives you a form of two-way communication. We have SMS that deals with only short code, that sends to end users. We also have an SMS type that allows two-way communication. So there are we have branded SMS, and then we also have normal SMS. I don't really remember the technical name, but this is not a USSD and SMS course, so class, so I wouldn't stress so much on that. Alright, so please let's confirm that our Eclipse is up. So let's launch the workspace, and let's go straight into, please forget this, I'm not going to do this at the moment. Okay, so it's launching, it's starting. So let me walk out for a while. When it's ready, I'll come back. Okay. Alright, so we are back here, and as you can see right now, this is my Eclipse workspace, and you can see a whole lot of projects, a whole lot of services. Projects are also services are also software components. These words, they are used interchangeably, you just have to know when to use them. So I'm going to click on this icon. They call it, some do is three dots arranged horizontally, but there's a word for it, but I don't know. I definitely don't know what it. We're going to close all projects. So close all projects, and the current projects we are going to look at are the web resource console, web resources API, web resource services. We also have the web resources SMS distribution. So we have like 4 main projects, but the one that is really in use, I think, sorry if I'm going, yeah, this one is just a test. I use this one just to test SMS, so I'll close this one, and we'll look at only these 3: web resources console, web resources API, and web resources services. And let me close all the tabs here. Alright, so from our PowerPoint view, we made mention of reconfirming, reconfirming. So we're going to confirm that the report card web services is deployed live on Heroku. So that's our first task. So yeah, so now let's enter the mind of an engineer working for a corporate body. You know, you have services that are deployed live. In the next question will be how did I deploy this live? That's a good question, because you have an application that was working locally or running locally on Apache Tomcat web services. Apache Tomcat, sorry. And Apache Tomcat is a server, it's an application server, and then the web app is a dynamic extension of that application server. So how did I do the configuration for Apache Tomcat for me to be able to deploy this live on Apache Tomcat? So that's the web resources service. So this is the project name. This is the name of the project, web resources service. It's also a service on its own. It's also a project on its own. It's also a software component on its own. Please understand. I know it's confusing, but understand these things and just put in your mind. And when we click on that, it's a maven-based project. Because it's a maven-based project, it comes to the Maven standard directory for web apps. So you have your source main Java, where all your source codes are located. Source test Java, where your tests are located. Source main resources, where you have your properties file, and you have your properties file kept inside to make your application stateless. You also have your there's another folder, source web app, and if this is where you keep web application config files to web application config files. Remember, I've said that web application can be in two forms: presentation oriented and service oriented. So this is not a presentation oriented service application, this is a service oriented application. And then every web application is a dynamic extension of the application server. But in this service oriented application, it's looking at how we are going to implement endpoints of a service. And remember that we said that an endpoint helps us to expose, or helps us to show the world a particular method or a particular operation that we've defined inside our source code. Alright, so just put these things in your head. You'll get them when you really face real challenges. Okay, so now what I'll do is that I'm going to launch. I'll right click and launch show in local terminal git bash. And what I'm trying to do is I want to confirm that this service is up on Heroku. So I'm going to type some Heroku commands that will help me to confirm if my service is up or not. So first thing, I'll just type Heroku apps. So when I type Heroku apps, I want to know the apps this command helps you to know the list of apps that have been deployed to Heroku. Heroku and Git are a little bit from similar intent, not in terms of how you start them. So I want to use another topic on this one, because Heroku is a cloud hosting platform for web applications. Okay, so we have your this is our report card project. This is the name of the project, and as you can see, when we do Heroku apps, it's showing that this project is on Heroku. Now, how do you confirm that this project is live? Confirm that the application is still running. So we are going to run some logs on that. So what we'll do is that we'll do Heroku logs and we'll do -tail. So let's do this. We want to tail the logs. You see, if an application is live and it's running, logs will definitely be working behind the scene, because the logs help you to not only keep track of the application state that you don't want end users to use, but they also help you to write some application or some form of understanding that only you and technical persons are supposed to know, but end users are not supposed to know. So logging is very, very important. When you're building a new application, make sure you have logs behind the scene. It will come naturally when you are writing code that, oh, I need logs. And you definitely need logs, because if an issue happens, you definitely check your logs, and there are real cases why you need logs. A lot of cases: exception handling, application state, even the response that you are getting from a web server. If you are using an API, the response you are getting from the external web services, you want to log it onto a file before you even you decide to reinterpret it for a client to understand. Probably the client will not need all of that response, but if anything changes for now, let's say in the external API's response, it will definitely be shown in your logs. So you need logs. So when we do Heroku apps logs, we see that it shows. Let's put this up. So you can see that it says this is where the logs all starts from. So we started Heroku logs app. So it started by this user, it was released, and we go blah blah blah. Sorry. So this is where the application server has actually started. So it's making a get request. I think let's embed the colors here so we all see it well. Nice. So you see here we are connected to the database. How do I know I'm connected to the database? Because I logged it. Because I'm doing some data retrieval from a database, and then it is done retrieving the values, and then there are endpoints to this. So let's go straight down and let's see. So it says state change from up to down. So right now we know the application is up. So now someone asked me, how do I launch the application? Let me do this explanation. Anytime you build a web application, there's a file that helps you to define your web app configurations, and that one is called the web.xml file. Remember, before I started the video, I made mention that Jessie is a framework. So I use Jessie to build this software-oriented application, service-oriented application, and Jessie is a framework that helps you to build. That helps us to build this software-oriented application. So we also have different frameworks. We have Spring 2. Spring 2 is a framework you can use, but the vanilla in quotes, the vanilla ice of building Java APIs is Jessie. So that's why I use Jessie. That's why and Jessie is the framework, but the JSRX is the implementation. So the implementation is JSRX, but the framework is Jessie. Don't worry, you put these things in your head. It's interchangeable. You understand very soon. So this is the base URL for application web resources. And when you build an application, anytime you build an application, when you right click on the application and you go to properties, this video is going to be long when I didn't want it to be long. This is the context root. The context root is what you are going to use for your URL. So first of all, remember I made mention of URI, and if you remember in our video of theory, we had a URI syntax. There's a URI syntax, and the URI for syntax for web application helps you. It goes something like this. Let me get a sketch pad. Sticky notes. I'm using a pad here. And it mostly goes like this, whereby you have the www, you have your server name, the domain name, and now some .com, domain name and .com. Yeah, but this is just the basic one you have all been exposed to. But the syntax, the URI can change. The URI syntax, sorry, the URI syntax is can vary. I say like the word can vary. So let me go to, I don't want to, let's go to our old video. I'm trying to just find a quick way of, let me just Google URI syntax for you. So I will build the URI syntax for this, so you know that it's not cast in stone that every time it has to be www.localhost. No, you really get tired of that. So URI syntax, let's just do URI syntax at the top. This is what most people know, www. the domain name and the .com, but domain name is even more, goes deeper, because when you talk of domain name, you are talking of an application that you have deployed to a hosting service, and the hosting service has given you the domain name, or you bought the domain name. So in other words, instead of you having an IP address to locate that, an IP to locate that resource, you are being assigned a name so that it becomes user friendly. So instead of you accessing the resource on the web, and the web is networking, on the web, that's networking, you have a name you can use, and that name resolution of IP to a name is called DNS. So that's domain name, the domain name system. I'm trying to forget my test, but that's DNS for you, so just put that in your mind. So let's look at the URI syntax, just the general syntax, and I'll go straight to my video. So we are going to build the URI for this. So this is the original syntax. So this is just a syntax for you to know that we have the schema, authority, path, query, and fragment. So these are the 5 components of the syntax, and then the authority is the user info at host and then at port. So if you go down, it goes down to break down for you. So the scheme is the protocol, then we have the user information, the host, the port, the path, the query, and then the fragment. So now context, if you want to run this application, and if you look at our logs, the path is resources, school, Apple Valley, hosting, and report card. It's all defined inside our project. So if you go into the school resource.java class, you actually see the path that's being defined. So this is the base path, web resources base path. That's the base path, but other paths are being appended to it. That's the school, the name of the school, the student, the report, and then the student's ID. So here's our path. That's our base path for the school resources. But this is the general path for all the applications, or for all paths that will be provided in this application. And then this is the endpoint or path or web service that we are trying to access. So now how do I locate it, or how do I confirm that it is working? So let's build our URI. So our URI, we're building our URI. So let's continue to build our URI. So you've seen the syntax already, the authority, the port, and then the form, and the question. Yep. So yeah, that's that's it. So we start with we have our context part. Let me copy the context. I know some of you, why am I disturbing myself to do all this, but I just want to explore for a while before I actually do some actual work. So I can copy this, and so this will be how it will look like. It will look something like this: web resources services. Then I have the web resources. That's the base part. So this is the project. This is the part inside the application. There are more parts. The actual endpoints will be defined here. If it continues on and on, all the endpoints that you need will be defined just like this. So this is how it's going to look like when you run it locally. So if I just do something here, if I try to run this locally, I have to use the Grizzly server because I haven't configured the server for. Yeah, I have to use Grizzly server. So to use Grizzly server, there are some commands I have to type. Okay, main. And let's just. I've done some changes, but I just want to explore. Because I've just gone to Heroku. I want to explore for a while just to see something. Okay, you see, just here I started with HTTP localhost. So the localhost you are seeing here is, let's compare to our URI syntax so you understand what we are doing. So localhost is the application server. It's running on localhost. So you have an application that is, you have a project or a source code or a service that has been deployed to this application server, and the application server is called localhost, and then the port of the server is 8080. The type of communication or scheme is HTTP because that's a protocol we are using. So that's the protocol we are going to use to identify our logical resource on the web. Yep. So this is how it looks. This is how it's looking locally, but because we've deployed it to the web, it's on Heroku, we cannot. Let's just use this for sake. Let's see what happened. We've done some configuration. So localhost resources. Then let's go and add our path that we created. The path we created. Let's start from just here. Let's run it and see what. I don't want to put dust in your eyes. Okay, so is it that this page cannot be found 404, and the reason, okay, let's change this one. Let's hit this again. We still can't get a response from it, so it's saying that it's not found. This is not working. Okay, so let's do this again too. Let's just keep trying several things. Still not found. So it's not working. There's a configuration that has been done that's preventing it from running locally, and that's because we wanted to do deployment. So it is not really going to work as it's supposed to, and I'm not ready to go by hard commands that have been done, but it has been deployed, so don't worry. It is working online. So now let's get it working as we want it to work. Let's go back to our terminal. And you can see that when we go to Heroku, let's type the Heroku command to start the application. The command we are going to use is Heroku open. Okay, so Heroku open launches our application for us. So when you type Heroku open, this is what is happening now. Let's monitor the application with the logs to see what will happen, what's happening behind the scene, because we've launched the application. When we do Heroku logs tail, we are going to tell the state of the app. So this is what's happening at the background. Good. So we are getting a 404, which is not bad. It's good because our our application is live on the web. It's HTTPS. It's live, but the page or the URL that you are supposed to append to it is not yet live, but has not been done, has not been added, but the application is live. And then if we check from the logs, we can see that our logs is telling us that the service or the application has started, but the endpoint you are trying to reach is not found. That's the meaning of 404. So that one is a client error. It's from me. So how do I go to the application or the base URL? This can be fixed, but as it stands now, the base URL that is being understood in the application in the web.xml file is what? Web resources as the base. So if I want to change it now, I have to go back and append web resources. So when I hit the web resources URL, so this is the URL pattern for the application. If I hit it right now, we realize that we are supposed to have a different response. Web resources path. Come on, let me go back to application and see and add another piece of URL to the school part too. So web resources is the base part. So it starts at web resources, then let's add school to it. So good. When we add school, you see we get a response from the application, and the response that we are getting, this is the default handler, and that's it returns hi, welcome to the school web resources. It's much more nicer if I use Postman to do it. So if I use Postman to do this, or if I curl it with, or let's do a curl rather. Let's do a curl. Let's go to, let's use the git bash terminal to do the curl. Let's curl this with git bash to see what we get. So let's type curl, then put the URL there. And curl is a client. When I say it's a client, it's a it helps you to make calls to web services. Yeah, that should make sense. So let's curl this URL. It's just like using Postman. So when we curl, you see we get a response that hi, welcome to the school web resources. So that's when we curl, when we are using a client to do that call to the services or web services. If you think that's not user friendly, you can easily come to Postman and create let's have a new request. Let's create a new request, or let's go to the API. Let's change our workspace and go to the API testing workspace, and let me just do a new request and push this, and paste our URL here. And let's do a post. Let's do a get, a get. So when we do a get, it retrieves data from our code for us, and what it's saying is hi, welcome to the school web resources directory on the web. So we can confirm the application is up, and then we did that by typing heroku open to start the application online, and we've used the logs to monitor the state of the application. So logging is key when you are using applications, and then and also using the right client to test the API endpoint, or to test the web services. Either it is whether you are getting some response, so key. So we use curl, and we've used Postman to do that, and we've also used the browser to do that. So in all cases, we can see that our service is running. And then also when you check the logs, when you look at the path that we entered, let's maximize our terminal, and let's do this again. Let's hit the endpoint again with curl. So the web resource again with curl. Let's look at the logs. First, let me clear the logs. Where is my oh, okay. Right, sorry, let's use this one. This is a different, so let's launch again. Let's launch the terminal for the project again using git bash. I like the git bash because it has the Unix kernel, the shell implementation inside. But if you're to be using an Apple machine, I don't think I'll be bothering myself using git bash, because the terminal itself supports it. Linux or Unix command. So let's go again. First of all, let's start the logs. Let's go to start our logs, and then let's hit the endpoint. So we've started our logs, so it's running. Let's hit the endpoint again. Alright, so the logs repopulated again with school. So this was what was recently done. Look at the time. See, the login even gives you the time that the action occurred, and the time is 16:42:36. So it's 4:42 p.m. just right now, and the status code is 200, and then when the 200 means that it was successful, it's true. We were able to do a get request, and the method we used was HTTP. Remember in the beginning I made mention of using HTTP that is over the web, so it's HTTP. Hi, it's loaded, and that's the get, and then the path we are using is web resources school, and I made mention of the URL to and because it's over the web, we are not using localhost, but there's a URL syntax to that, and that's what we have just done. Okay, so now let's go back to our slides. We've confirmed that the report results cast is deployed live on what Heroku. If you still don't believe, you can go to the Heroku, you can launch into the Heroku dashboard, and you can actually see the application that's been deployed. For the naysayers, those that normally don't believe, some people don't believe that some of these things can be done, so you actually have to go to the dashboard over the cloud to show them that it is live. It's not movie. Localhost, we tried running localhost, but it didn't work because of some configurations we've done in our pom.xml file. I still have to look at how to make it run. I think I can still do it, but I just want you to know that there are two phases on that. We have the one that's been deployed live, and that's what we are looking at, and that configuration was done in the pom.xml file. So in this pom.xml file, we defined how the application should be built. So this is the configuration we did so that it to be able to run on the web. So that's the configuration being done. So it asks a web runner to be deployed for Heroku. So that's the Heroku plugin that we added to this application in our pom.xml file. And the pom.xml file is your project dependency to it does a whole lot of stuff for your project, but it helps you to add dependencies. It also helps you to configure your application, your project, and it also helps you to avoid dependency redundancy in terms of having so many jar files in your code. Alright, so let's just log in. So I'm talking too much. I don't like what I'm doing. I have to go straight to the point. So for our naysayers, we want to log in. Our password. Wow, I remember my password. Please give me a second. I'll be back. Let me get the password. Okay, so let's continue. Let's log into our account and confirm that our services has been deployed live. So okay, so it needs a code from my the Authenticator app. That's the Microsoft Authenticator app. So I'm going to get the code and insert it here so we can continue with our video. So our code is alright, so our code is okay. And now, for the sake of the naysayers, we just want to show that the app has really been deployed live. So that's the name of the app. That's the report card, Charles Racks. And then you can confirm it also from here, from our logs. When our app started, it started and Charles Racks. So you can just confirm that it's the same. Just for the avoidance of doubt, that's the host. So if you click on it, it gives you more details as to the activities that are taking place in the application, and then other stuff. So now we know that our service is live. Okay, so next thing is to confirm that. Let's go back to our slides and know what we have to. So our service is live and it is running. Alright, so let's start the service, just a demo on just the API part.